There it is.
Oh, just flew.
Out of all of the regions in the United States to go birding in, one of the best is the Rio Grande Valley of South Texas. Known for species that can't be found anywhere else in the country, this area is a dream destination for birders all across the nation. Situated just north of Mexico, rare birds from south of the border often make their way into the Rio Grande Valley and are top targets when visiting. On our trip to South Texas, multiple rare birds were being seen at one of the valley's most notable hotspots, Bentsen Rio Grande Valley State Park.
Morning, everybody. Today we're at Bentsen Rio Grande Valley State Park. In my opinion, one of the coolest places to bird in Texas. We're going to try to find some rarities and some more common stuff. We had to kind of come back to the visitor center because we were here and we realized we needed to fill out like the payment stuff. So we went in a little bit and now we're back to get that done because it's past the time we can do that.
Yeah, there's still some common birds that I need for the Rio Grande Valley, so I'm hoping to find those here. And then, as Derek said, the rarities are the ones that we'd really like to see, but they seem pretty tough, so we're going to try our best.
Yeah, so we saw part of the like unfinished border wall, which was interesting too. Just tells you how far south you are. So excited to get paid and then able to go in. It's about a $5 entrance fee.
We headed to the park headquarters to pay the entrance fee and gain access to the grounds. While we were there, we checked out the bird feeder setup viewable from inside. We saw a hooded oriole and a couple of Inca doves, a good way to start out what would be an epic day of birding. Got my wristband to get access into the place, so now we are ready to go and we're going to start birding. Two of our biggest targets for the day were the Rose-throated Becard and the Hook-billed Kite. The Becard had been seen on and off for a while, usually only showing up for mere seconds at a time, and then leaving. The hook-billed kites were greater in numbers than the Becard, but equally elusive. Both species would be tough to find, and an encounter with either all amounted to persistence and luck. Our first stop was a nature center just after walking through the park entryway. As soon as we arrived, Derek spotted one of the rare birds we were after, the Rose-throated Becard.
We got the Becard. It was super brief, but I was so pumped to see it. We just had it for a few seconds, so hopefully it'll come back, but it's just a cacophony of noises out here. There was a lady working at the center, and she gave us like the thumbs up, so that was really neat. And we'll keep looking for it. Hopefully we'll get some better views. I just got like a tiny short video, but it's really cool to actually see it at all, because it did seem like such a huge long shot. But we're here at the right time, so hopefully it'll come back out.
Each day, park staff places out food for the birds, and it was evident that they had grown accustomed to being fed, as many different species were gathered in the trees, eagerly awaiting a meal. Some classic South Texas species were present, including green jays and great kiskidees, but the birds that made themselves the most well-known were the plain chachalacas.
My favorite thing about them is they just like hang out with you.
Yeah, they're just fascinating, silly birds. I do enjoy them. They're really loud though.
The plain chachalaca is the only member of the family of guans, curassows, and chachalacas to be regularly found in the United States. They will make their loud calls in the morning, evening, and when there is a change in weather patterns. At home in trees and shrubs, these gray-brown galliforms feed on insects, other small invertebrates, plant matter, and more, and are often seen near water. They will flock in groups, which can consist of 15 individuals or more if there is enough food in one area. Plain chachalacas can be found throughout parts of Central America, with the tip of their range extending into South Texas.
You're like the chachalaca whisperer.
Look at these things. They're
I
so
love how they
cool.
jump.
And they're so abundant here, too.
Yeah, they just fly in from everywhere. We waited patiently, hoping the Becard would make another appearance. While we watched, we saw several more species, including white-tipped doves, wild turkeys, and Altamira orioles. Eventually, the Becard did in fact come back around, giving us slightly longer views this time.
That was sick.
You feel happy?
Yeah, dude, I'm stoked. I wasn't sure if he was going to come out again, so that's awesome. He's only here briefly, and then he leaves right away. The Rose-throated Becard is a large-headed bird that can normally be found in woodlands and edge habitats. Males are gray, with most adult males developing a pink patch on their throat. Female color is variable, but adult birds almost always have a black cap. Rose-throated Becards feed mostly on insects, but will also eat berries. The movements and behaviors of Becards are similar to that of flycatchers, such as hawking insects and sitting on the ends of branches high in trees, but they are actually in a different family. Their range includes most of Central America, and they can most often be found in the United States and the lower sections of Texas and Arizona. How you feeling?
Finally got a better look at the Becard, so it makes me happy. Now it's time to find some kites. After checking off target bird number 1, we turned our attention to target bird number 2, the Hook-billed Kite. These kites have been seen at Bentsen for months, but can be incredibly tricky to find. Fortunately for us, we ran into a notable birder from the area who knows a lot about the kites, Ryan Rodriguez. Ryan has been hailed as a prodigy for his birding ability and has had several articles written about him. It turns out he's also a really cool guy and was willing to show us around Bentsen and help us find the kites.
Alright, so we actually met up with Ryan. He's a viewer of the channel. He's been kind of showing us around, helping us look for the kites. He actually respotted the Becard again, which was super helpful too. But we were just talking about like the kite behavior and what they're feeding on. So he grabbed one of the snails that they actually eat, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about it.
This is the striped rhabdoda snail, and they cling to these mesquite trunks, usually on the bottom and sometimes on the trunk. And there is actually a snail in here. This is the glue that they glue themselves to the tree with. And the snail is hiding back here, so the kite will grab the snail with its club and it'll rip the tip of the snail off and pull out the snail inside. And here's actually one that's been eaten by a kite. See, the tip has been ripped off and all the little chambers in here that the snail goes back to hide to.
With Ryan's vast knowledge about the kites and the birds of Bentsen on our side, we walked the roads keeping an eye out for any raptors perched or soaring. We got nice views of a Cooper's hawk and a Harris's hawk. We also saw plenty of vultures flying overhead. We made our way to one of the most interesting features of Bentsen, the Hawk Watch Tower. This structure serves as a fantastic vantage point to survey the landscape and look for anything perched nearby or flying. From the structure we got eyes on a white-eyed vireo, a ladder-backed woodpecker, and a raptor species that looked close to what we were searching for. Just had a new species, greyhawk. We at first thought that it was a kite just by the way it was flying, but then when we saw it perched, it was a greyhawk, which is a new bird for me, but it means we're still searching for some kites. We climbed down from the Hawk Watch Tower and continued walking the roads when we stumbled upon the bird we were searching for. There it is.
Oh, just flew.
Where'd it go?
Left. Dang. It was cool though. It's a real hook-billed kite this time. Hook-billed kites can be found in parts of South and Central America, parts of the Caribbean, and occasionally South Texas. Adult males are gray with a gray barred stomach, and adult females are gray with a reddish-brown barred stomach. There's also a dark morph which can be dark black or brown with yellow near the face. The wings of hook-billed kites show a checkered pattern from underneath, and their tail is banded. They can normally be found in forests near water or in lowland rainforests. Their diet consists mostly of snails, which causes them to be fairly nomadic, moving when snail populations dwindle. They may also feed on insects and other small invertebrates. Well, we had a hook-billed kite perch confirmed, but it took off more like deeper in, so we're walking around again trying to find another one or maybe even the same one. But it's cool to know that we actually saw one for sure.
We kept walking and scanning the trees, but didn't have any more luck with the kites. We started making our way back, but as we were going by a lake, Ryan noticed another South Texas specialty species.
Life of green kingfisher.
That was awesome. That was fantastic views of that kingfisher. It's a new bird for me.
The green kingfisher is a small bird with a large bill, green and white colored body with white spots on their wings and a white collar. Males also have rufous coloration on their chest. Green kingfishers can be found in the very southern portions of the United States into Central and South America. They can often be seen flying from perch to perch near water while searching for fish to eat. Their large bill, which assists in catching prey, is also used to drill out a nest burrow in the ground. If they aren't calling or moving from branch to branch, these small gems can be difficult to find as they blend in quite well with the green vegetation they often perch by.
Near the water, we found our first and only amphibian species at Bentsen for the day.
There's a huge cane toad in this grate, which is really interesting. That's the first reptile or amphibian we found, and they're actually native here, so that's cool. But you definitely don't want to touch them because they have those poison glands. But neat to see such a huge toad, and our first herp of the trip.
After taking our time birding on the way back, we found ourselves at the park headquarters again. Here we had a few more quality birds, as we spotted numerous clay-colored thrushes and a black phoebe before leaving the park.
Well, Bentson has been fantastic. The rare stuff we've seen has been so brief, like the Becard and the Kite, that I'd love to come back and get some better views. But at least if you get a view in some media, you can't be too upset about that. So I'm really glad that we got to see that stuff. Really happy we met Ryan. He's been super helpful, showing us around, showing us the cool spots and how to find the rare things. So that's been really great too.
Bentsen Rio Grande Valley State Park is a gem for birders and nature lovers alike. With rarities showing up on a regular basis and plenty of South Texas specialty species living in the park, it is a must-visit location for people looking to maximize their time in the valley. We certainly enjoyed our visit to Bentsen and will surely be back in the future. But until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.